No object in human history has watched more human souls than the mirror. Not the sword, not the throne, not even the crown. Because a mirror does something far more dangerous. It shows us ourselves. And for most of human history, that was a power humanity was never meant to possess. Long before polished glass hung on bedroom walls, before elegant frames and shining reflections, humanity lived in a world where no one truly knew their own face. If you asked someone what they looked like, they could only guess. A reflection could appear briefly in still water, a trembling image on a quiet lake, but water was unreliable. The slightest ripple, and your identity vanished. For thousands of years, human beings walked the earth without ever truly seeing themselves. Until one day, someone discovered something strange. In the ancient lands of Anatolia, nearly 8,000 years ago, craftsmen began polishing pieces of volcanic glass known as obsidian. At first, they were tools, sharp, deadly, but when polished carefully, the black surface did something unexpected. It reflected. Not clearly, not perfectly, but enough. These dark obsidian mirrors were some of the first attempts humanity ever made to capture a reflection, but the image was shadowy, distorted, ghost-like, which only made them more terrifying. Because ancient people didn't see reflections as simple light, they believed they were glimpsing the soul. Many early cultures feared mirrors deeply. In ancient Egypt, polished copper mirrors were used by priests and royalty, not just for beauty, but for ritual. They believed mirrors could reveal truths hidden from ordinary eyes. Some temples used them during ceremonies meant to communicate with gods. Because if a mirror could show your face, perhaps it could show something behind it. Later, the Greeks pushed this idea even further. Philosophers and mystics believed mirrors were dangerous gateways. Legends warned that staring too long into a reflection could trap the spirit. The story of Narcissus tells of a man who became so obsessed with his own reflection in water that he wasted away beside it. To ancient thinkers, this wasn't just a myth, it was a warning. Reflections had power. But the true revolution of mirrors came centuries later, in the quiet workshops of Venice. During the Middle Ages, glassmakers on the island of Murano unlocked a secret that would change how humanity saw itself forever. They learned to coat glass with thin layers of molten metal. The result was something astonishing. A reflection, clearer than water, sharper than polished stone. For the first time in human history, people could see their faces exactly as others saw them. But this knowledge was considered so powerful, it was treated like a state secret. Venetian government forbade mirror makers from leaving the city. If they tried to escape, assassins were sometimes sent after them, because mirrors were worth fortunes. Kings paid the price of entire ships just to own a single one. One famous example stood inside the breathtaking Palace of Versailles in France, the legendary Hall of Mirrors, a room lined with hundreds of reflections, multiplying wealth, power, and glory into infinity. To visitors, it felt almost supernatural. One king suddenly became 1,000 kings. One candle became a galaxy. And the mirror's power spread everywhere. Not just in palaces, but in ordinary homes. For the first time in history, millions of people could wake up each morning and face themselves. Really face themselves. But mirrors didn't just change how humans looked, they changed how humans thought. Before mirrors, identity came from how others described you. After mirrors, identity became something you judged for yourself. Beauty, imperfections, aging, every flaw suddenly visible. The mirror became humanity's quiet judge, watching, reflecting, never speaking. Psychologists would later discover something strange. Human babies do not recognize themselves in mirrors until around 18 months old. The moment they finally understand that the reflection is them marks a crucial step in self-awareness. It's called the mirror test, and only a few animals on Earth can pass it. Great apes, dolphins, elephants, and humans. Which means mirrors do more than show an image. They reveal consciousness itself. But mirrors also carry darker legends. For centuries, cultures around the world believed mirrors could trap spirits. In Victorian times, mirrors were covered when someone died to prevent the soul from becoming imprisoned inside the glass. The superstition of 7 years of bad luck after breaking a mirror dates back to ancient Rome, where reflections were believed to hold fragments of a person's life force. Break the reflection, and you damage the soul. Even today, mirrors remain strangely powerful. Actors fear them backstage. Children stare into them during sleepless nights. Urban legends whisper about reflections that move when you don't. Because deep down, humans still feel something ancient when they face a mirror. A quiet unease. A question that has haunted humanity since the first obsidian reflection in ancient Anatolia. When you look into a mirror, are you only seeing yourself? Or are you witnessing something far stranger? A moment where light, mind, and identity collide. Because the mirror does not create your reflection, It simply returns what already exists. And sometimes, the most mysterious thing in the world is the face staring back at you.